Alright, so today on the chef, the San Bernardino Ghetto Chef, we will be doing some homemade shish kebabs. And I got this nice beautiful pork tenderloin, which I'll be using to cube up first. Make sure that's in frame. Got this nice beautiful sharp knife. Always want to make sure you got a sharp knife. And I'm working with pork, so yes, I am wearing gloves. It's pre-marinated. And there you go. Beautiful, nice little layer of fat up there. Ooh, I got my shish kebab skewers soaking right now in water as well. You want to make sure you do that so that way your sticks don't burn on the grill. So, now, alright, let's do it. Get some napkins pulled off. I don't like getting pork all over my knife and grease all over my knife, so we want to do, try to keep your cubes as consistent as possible too. So let's go ahead and cut lengthwise first. We're going to go ahead and do, maybe 1, 2, 3. So this side over here is going to be thinner, so what we want to do is make them a little wider to cook evenly with these ones. So we'll go there for this first one since it's got that thin edge. And if they're too big, we'll go back and make them a little smaller, but you should try to keep these all on one skewer. That way they're all the same size, and then try to keep the same size cubes on each skewer, if you understand what I'm saying. One nice big whoosh, swoosh. It does help to have a good sharp knife. This is one of those Bubba blades that's normally used for filleting, but in this scenario I will be using it for this because it is nice and sharp. Let's get a second plate off the bottom here. Let's cut pieces up there. Checking them to make sure they're fairly close to the same size. I have really small skewers, so I don't want to overload them with real big pieces. Plus, I don't want to be out there cooking for 4 hours waiting for this pork to get done all the way through, because that's one thing you need to make sure is that pork is cooked completely through. You don't want to get no parasites on the brain, which I do know somebody that had that happen, and he wound up in the hospital and he literally had a parasite on his brain. Not good. So anyways, continue to cut this up. Keeping your hands and fingers away from that sharp blade. Safety first. We all know that, right? Keep your fingernails back, keep your knuckles out, and blade up against the knuckles. So that way you don't ever have to worry about it. But you do gotta watch your thumb back there, because if you get your thumb out there too far, done deal. Because this knife will take a big chunk. It's kind of like filleting a fish, I guess. You want to make sure you keep pushing the meat over so you don't get these, multi-cuts like, oh, whoops, I missed it, so let me go ahead and keep on, like, making multi-cuts in the same, no, you want one continuous cut straight down, push it over so you can get back in that same line, and then back down through. And you'll notice as you're cutting and the meat warms up, it starts to get a little harder to cut consistently because it's moving all over the place. So you gotta pinch it together to make it firm. That's a little small, but we'll put that on the end somewhere. There we go. That's the first half. Well, actually that was more like a third, because this is closer to 2/3 of it. Alright, let's do this. Let's go down the middle. Man, it's a good looking pork tenderloin, tell you that. Back strap from the pig. This pig must have had some good meals on him because this has a pretty nice consistent layer of fat right on there. Had a nice lazy lifestyle. And the reason why I'm not using the cutting board is because I don't like getting pig on my surfaces in my kitchen. So, take half of that off of there, make it a more workable portion. And let's see, let's go with our cuts this way so every piece has a little piece of fat on it. And then I have some boneless, skinless breasts for chicken as well. And I will be putting those on different skewers. It's definitely tender meat. Just keep, oh, whoa, see, I just about did it. If I wouldn't have had a glove on, I would have stabbed myself. I went back here and that's why you just gotta take your time and be careful. And since you see, there's not gonna be enough there to do 3 pieces, so they're gonna both be a little chunky and make it even though. I could have butterflied it. Alright, so now we got one more piece to go. Alrighty then. So let's see here. And the reason why I'm not cooking this as one whole tenderloin, which is probably recommended, I just don't have a very good barbecue right now. And my mom don't like smoke. So I have to be very careful when I'm cooking because I don't have no way to control the heat. I'm using like a caveman barbecue out there. So what I do after this is I will put it back in a Ziploc baggie and let it, work itself around because I want to get that marinade that's on the top to the inside as well. Same thing here. There's not enough there for 3 pieces, so we'll just split it down the middle. There we go. Just lay it open there, huh? That's like a piece of gristle in there. Ugh. Butterfly cut. I should have did that. I should have opened this whole thing up, butterflied it, and then stuffed it with some bacon or something. Anyway, there we go. That's the pork tenderloin. So now I will cut up some onions. And you want your onions to be similar size to the meat, so that way when you put it on the grill, it'll sit flush and it don't spin around and do all that crazy stuff. So that piece right there looks pretty good. Let's see. Find a piece of meat. Yep, that's pretty good. So that's what you're looking for about. Put that over there. Oh, there we go. I'm peeling a couple onions over here just in case you don't know. The skin has to be peeled. This skin, not the actual onion, don't get peeled, but and the reason why I'm not worried about cross-contamination is because everything is going to get cooked to a certain degree that will kill any bacteria that's on this pork, so it won't matter if this onion gets contaminated by the pork right now because it's going to get cooked on the grill and the heat will kill any bacteria. So now what I do is peel that, and there you go. Half down. And the other half down. And there you go. That's the label for the pork loin fillet. Walmart prime meat. They call it prime, so hey, if they call it prime, I will too. Anyway, alright, so what we'll do is we're going to shove the meat and the onions back in this bag until we're ready to put them together. Because then, once I put it in a Ziploc bag, I can basically squeeze all the air out, and that'll help it marinate quicker. Seal in all that nice marinade in there. There we go. Alright, there we go. Now, let's get the rest of this onion cut up. Try to keep my gloves wiped off, like I said, because I don't like a slippery knife. I don't like a slippery knife. Let's do this. We'll go right down the middle. And then we'll go right down the middle. La 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 la. La 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 la. And I'll save the other 2 onions for my chicken. Okay. So we'll go ahead and switch these out. Get some fresh ones for my chicken. Alrighty, coming in hot with some chicken. I don't think I'm going to do all the chicken that I got. I'll probably do 3 or 4 breasts. Let me show you how I get this air out of here. So what I do, since it's in a Ziploc baggie, see my zip, what I do is I fold it up and I squeeze all the air out. And then I slide it over, squeeze it some more, get all that air out, boom. Now as nice and vacuum tight. Now I just kind of move it around, work it around. Oh yeah, it's gonna be good stuff. It's gonna be good stuff there, baby. Okay, now we'll let that sit. A couple hours until I'm ready to put it together. And here we go. You see my chicken. Walmart freshness. Freshness guaranteed, it says. Alright, let's go. Let's see. 1, 2, 3. Look good to me. Yeah, and then we'll use those other 3 when I make my chicken fettuccine alfredo. It's mucho bueno. It's very good. And we'll throw this chicken back in the bag here. We'll make this probably tomorrow or the next day, so I'm not worried about it. Boom. La, 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 la. Take a plate, put it in the refrigerator. So what I'm going to go ahead and do, see, this is the right distance to use my skewer, and it fits right in there, just perfect to sit flat, so I can stack up my shish kebab skewers in there until they're grilled. And then once they're grilled, I take them off and put them on a clean one. So there we go. All right, time to cut the chicken. Cut the chicken. Same principle. Small cubes, try to keep them consistent. Remember, this is chicken breast, so it dries out fast. There is a little tenderloin inside the breast usually. Okay, maybe not in this one, but usually there is. There, I see it. There it is. See the silver skin there? That's where you gotta find it, right there on the silver skin, boom. Okay. That's really tender meat right there, though. There's a little vein in it, but that's alright. Anyway, we'll leave that as one piece because that's gonna fall apart on the grill. Let's see if this one. See the little fatty vein right there? A little fat. That's where you need to get in there, where that freaking silver skin is. It falls apart usually. See, the reason why I'm doing that now is because I don't want it to fall apart on the grill. And if it starts falling off from my skewers because I didn't pull that off, it's going to make a mess. Here we go. This is a little better example. So you see the fat line? It should stay right on that line. Almost. But yeah, anyways, you get the idea. Wipe my hands again because I don't like slippery knives. Alright, so what are we going to use for seasoning for these? What do you think? What do we think we should use for seasoning for the chicken? Oh, that's right, I made my own seasoning. That's right. So this is my secret recipe seasoning. I don't know if you're gonna be able to see down in there, but let's see, where's the light at? Anyways, it's got some paprika, it's got some chili powder, it's got salt, pepper, all kinds of good stuff in there. And then it's got some secret stuff in there too to give it a little kick. I can't disclose that stuff because then I might have to come to your house and find you. Anyways, it's good. It's good stuff. I'll put it on there after I cut it. Cutty. Alright, cutty. Like I said, basic same principle. Follow your cuts. Try to keep them clean. Try to keep them consistent. Now I get to the thicker stuff down here, I want them to be a little bigger. So I put that, or a little smaller, I'm sorry. Not bigger, what am I talking about? You know what I'm talking about. So there we go. A little thicker, a little smaller. A little thinner, so a little longer. And then what you do is you just scrunch it down on the shish kebab skewer, which I'll show you here in a little bit how to do that. Because if you don't, your chicken will be dry. So you see that? That's what I'm talking about right there, how it falls apart. That's from that little area of silver skin that I was talking about. See how tender that area is? That would be like the filet mignon of the chicken. It's underneath the breast. It's really, really tender. And it just falls apart, really. But if you're not careful, you'll dry it out really easy as well. You see how it's all flaky and just, that's the best part. Cut it with the skinny side up, then you'll get a little better look at the cut. A little cutty cuts. Ratchety. Since it's so thin, we'll leave one a little bigger. Yeah, that's gonna be plenty. That's going to be plenty, man. And you know this, man. Alright, let's see. Seasoning time. Flatten it out. That way we're going to get some even seasoning. Alright, flatten that plate out. Time for the secret sauce. Don't be afraid to put a lot of seasoning because it's going to come off when it's cooking. right? Alright, a couple more onions now. Alright, so I peeled that a different way that time. You just put one little cut down the side and peel it around. We're going to do this, the old pizza cut. And boom, there we have it, just like cutting a pie. Put that on top of the chicken. So what I did on that last one is I basically did this. Take it around like this, right? Watching your finger, just so you don't pull it through. You're pushing the onion onto the knife. The knife you keep still. You push the onion onto the knife, basically, and then roll it. Boom. Okay. And then once you do that, you take it, make one slight cut, just deep enough to get below the skin. Then pinch it. Once it pops up, roll it around, and just like that, you got a peeled onion. And that's how you would do it if you're gonna chop it or dice it or whatever, you know. That's just the second way of doing it. I'm sure there's many more ways of doing it out there, but that's my two ways of doing it. And if you notice this knife, the way it's shaped, that allows you to get your thumb on it for pushing down, but it's also that way the knife hits the table before your knuckles do. Alright, so that fell apart, but that's alright, we get it the rest of the way here. Alright, I need another Ziploc bag. I'll be right back. Alright, here we go. Onion in. Onions in. I should get some garlic in there too. Boom, chicken. Same thing, squeeze out all the air. Get that little slider over closer to the end there. And there we go. And then what you do is start working the chicken around the onion. Just like so. Tuck, like you're tucking in your pants or something, like if you're cuffing them. And you just keep working it in. Pull it back. So there's the chicken. There's the pork. back in the fridge until I'm ready to put them together. Thank you for watching another. Let me put one together for you real quick, just so you can see. Alright. I will do a chicken one here, just so you can see. Alright, now I'll do a pork. Let's do a pork. Let's do a pork. So, what I like to do first is I like to put the onion faced away so it don't cut the meat. Alright. Like a sword almost right there, alright? Got a little sword action. Ching, 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 ching. Anyways, alright, so then we're gonna go meat. So, you see the meat, alright? We don't want the meat to fall off, so we're gonna go through the fat. And then straight down the length of it. Just like that. Pushing it on, pushing it down, and boom, there's the first piece. Okay. Next, do another piece of onion. Okay, now you don't really have a choice on this matter, so I try to use a flat piece of onion. Boom, just like that. Try to keep them facing the same direction, so when you lay it flat on the grill, there you go. And then now another piece of meat. Trying to keep the meat the same size. Let's see, where's another piece of meat? Like that. Next would be another onion. And now granted, I am preparing this now and it is 9 o'clock in the morning. So these will not go on the grill until like 5 o'clock this evening. So you want to definitely leave yourself some time to prep. And you see how that's a little bigger piece? So what I'm doing is I'm going to stretch that one out. I'm not going to compress it. See, these ones are compressed. This one is stretched. And I'm going to end it with a piece of onion. End it with onion, just like that. Boom. So there's a skewer. Now, granted, you can put bell pepper, tomatoes, mushrooms usually is a favorite of mine. Whatever you want. Any kind of meat. Any kind of vegetables. Then you can brush sauce on it. You can brush, more marinade on there if you want. Whatever you want from this point. And then what I'm going to do, since I have room, is I will break that off. Try to break as cleanly as possible so you don't get no splinters. Getting rid of the sharp point. And there you have it.